Hi, my name's Keegan, and I'm the host of Engineers and Automation. On today's episode, we're going to be talking with Derrick Harrison. He's the co-owner of Seekers Technical. We're going to talk a little bit about owning his staffing and recruiting firm. We're going to talk about some of the struggles he's had the first year. We're also going to talk about the onboarding process for employers and job seekers. Now, let's go talk automation. And welcome to episode 21. I am here with Derrick Harrison. He is the co-owner of Seekers Technical. Derrick, welcome to today's show.
Glad to be here.
Great. And let's just jump right into it. Can you tell us a little bit of background about yourself?
Been in the industry for over 10 years, industrial automation, came from an engineering background, saw a greater need in the talent solutions space, so we formed a company to kind of solve that.
Okay, great. And what is that company?
Seekers Technical.
Okay. And when did you guys start?
Um, about a year ago. So I've been doing this about a year, so I think we're in year two now.
Okay. And I always like to ask, how'd you come up with the name?
Um, I just talked to about a couple other buddies. We were trying to come up with cool names. And we felt that was pretty intuitive to say uh it's a search firm, so seeking. So some people confuse, like I had someone wear this hat at Disney World and everyone's like, "Where'd you get that hat?" And and uh and they thought it was like the Harry Potter thing, like the Seekers. So
Oh, that's
we did
funny.
not name it after that, but
Oh, that's funny. And then how did you get your start in staffing slash recruiting?
just did it. Just picked it up and just started doing it. Tried to apply some principles I knew from what I learned from how businesses operated and what the industry was like. Hired a couple of consultants to try to get me up to speed. Got as many certificates as I knew possibly, which doesn't matter in the end. But I got like 10 different certifications in recruiting just so I'd be up to speed. But
Hmm.
and so I just tried flooding myself and learning as much as possible, learning the trick of the trade. And you learn it by experience and just doing it. So
Yeah. Yep. And I did want to touch on it. You are doing staffing and recruiting. Can you tell me a little bit to you, what's the difference between the two?
oh well, I to be honest with you, I don't know. I think people have different terminologies. I think some people call it contract staffing, and contract staffing is temp to hire.
Hmm.
And recruiting, I guess recruiting is a little bit a blanket statement. I think it maybe encompasses all of that because you have to recruit in order to do staffing. Um, so, um, so we do staffing solutions. So anything with HR, recruiting, anything that touches it, we provide software engineering services and stuff that help meet staffing needs. So I guess that's my understanding of it.
Okay. And then you kind of mentioned it there. I did want to kind of go into it. What roles are you helping place? What positions?
Um, Primarily executive positions in industrial automation, whether it's VP, sales positions, or control, or anything all the way down to controls engineers position or controls managers, directors. Anything you'd find in a typical systems integrator role, we fill those positions.
Okay. And then how are you finding these individuals? Do they reach out to you or do you go and search for them?
Mostly it's usually, I guess it's kind of a balance between the two. We get a lot of inbound, but usually you don't get inbound on a rec you have. So you kind of have to file that and come back to it later. A lot of the candidates we find, we go seek them. We get connections. Like we're going to Modex next week, so we're there growing connections, growing our network, and and um and we I guess we seek after we search and find. So.
Yeah, cool. And then how are you finding the clients where to place these open roles? Do they reach out to you guys? Do you, again, I'm guessing kind of do the same sort of thing, reach out to those businesses?
Yeah, we do a bit of both. We've had guys come out of the blue, say they needs people yesterday, kind of ordeal, and We have clients that we've developed relationship with over the year and or prior, and who lean on us for that. So there's a lot of, I guess, organic and created clients as well.
Okay. And then can you kind of walk me through a process? If I apply for your company, if I'm an engineer or
Mm.
an executive, what's kind of the process? Can you walk me through that?
So I guess if you are looking to apply for a job for a role that we have a rec for, okay.
Yep.
So what we like to do, we have a process, or we call it the spear methodology. And in that methodology, we have contracted talent solutions advisors that our company utilizes. So it's just industry professionals. We'll use them as like a board or panel to uh, that you would have to be filtered through. And so it's kind of like a pre-interview before you meet the client.
Hmm.
And then you also conduct a video form interview, um, and that keeps scheduling pretty optimal where the candidate can do self-service interview on their time, and also the client can um, view and rate and give feedback on the interview. It has a AI generated transcript of the
Oh,
interview, and you
cool.
can shortlist, etc. So once you get through that stage, you have either a face-to-face or a technical interview on site with the client, with a hiring manager, and or you have a virtual interview as well, and then that's the last step.
Okay. And then let's go the opposite way. If I'm a new client, what's kind of the process for
Mm.
looking through engineers or executives?
Like if you are wanting to work with us,
Wanting to
or
hire, wanting to hire, right? If I'm
me,
looking to hire.
like wanting to hire me or use me to make a hire.
You like wanting to use you to make new hires. Yeah.
So yeah, so what's the client journey
Right,
utilizing us, right?
right.
Okay. So so the client would be onboarded. We would gather the needs, et cetera, build the job list. Excuse me. Um, we would build the job list, sorry, job description, and we would use that information to build out that video form, which is what's used to for the candidate to do the self interview.
Okay.
Um, we build them a custom client portal that they can access. They can see a chart of who's in the what stage of the process they're at. It's like a Kanban board.
Okay.
Um, and they can see all the notes of the candidates, their contact information, what process they are in the stage, as well as they're inside this portal. There's also access to all the candidates that have done this self interviewing portal. So it's like kind of like a hiring manager's dream of not having to go back and forth and operate within an email or call or talk back and forth. It's everything. We call it eval view. So they just log in. It's got all their stuff there, all the metrics they need. They can make a very informed decision. And it's also got our talent advisors notes on that as well. So they have everything at their disposal in a client portal. So they
Cool.
access that, they make the decision there, and we schedule follow-ups.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean that sounds very creative. I haven't heard of anything like that. So pretty unique. That's cool. I did want to ask, what's some of the biggest learning curves that you've seen so far this first year of business? I mean, obviously the first year, there's always a lot of learning curves to go through.
Yeah.
What's some of the biggest stuff that you've seen?
Um, I th I think the biggest learning curve is understanding that even if you have a solution, even if it's a solution that you're 100% passionate about, and just because like it's going to work and it's going to solve their solve their problem, it doesn't matter. There some things are just immovable, you can't change it, and that's how it is. And I think the biggest learning curve is taking that and just still trying to make your product better. Um, But I guess the learning curve is understanding that even if you have a solid product, not everybody wants it. So,
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. I work on that kind of stuff myself. I did want to ask. I always like asking this one too, since you are a relatively new business. I could list 100 things within my first year.
mm,
But what are the biggest mistakes maybe that you've had so far?
um, I would say possibly I don't know. What I just said is a pretty big mistake making that assumption.
Yeah.
So sorry if
Yeah.
I'm messing up the podcast, but
No, no, you're good. You're good.
um I guess I would say maybe biggest mistake. That's there's a lot of mistakes. There's too many of them to name, man.
I know that's what I'm saying. My first year, I could list
Maybe
I
not making enough of them. How's that?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
making enough mistakes because I wish I'd made more mistakes quicker. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. That's good. And honestly, you gotta learn fast, right? You fail
Hmm.
fast, I think is the term that a lot of people like to use. And like I said, I know I did 20 different things I could list right now that I'm thinking stuff on my website or, client reach
Mm.
out or contractor reach out, et cetera. It's just, and now looking back at how smooth things run, you could just go, oh man, if you just did this or change that around and you'd be way better off. So, I always like to kind of touch on that one. So, I also, this one is a big one for me because there is sort of a lot of competition in the
Mm.
recruiting industry and field. So, what makes Seekers Technical different than your competitors?
Um, I would say I think it's hard to list competitors. I think I think you have to kind of look at it in the right perspective. I think I don't think there's that many competitors, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Um, I think there's your run-of-the-mill um, general recruiters.
Yeah.
Then there's your niche down recruiters, which I know some really good headhunters that are in that do an awesome job. Um, and I would definitely say that they're my competitor. Uh, and then there's like me. I met a guy today via LinkedIn, just one other person, but me, I'm kind of in field, which is the differentiator, is because we provide infield expertise to find that infield talent, right?
Hmm.
So we come from the field. We've been in your boots. We've been the hiring managers. We've been there, and we created this company from the ground up, understanding the pain, the exact acute pain of the hiring manager, that controls manager. We understand that, and the only and the the essential way we built this company was based off that alone. So, and that's our biggest differentiator, and that sets us apart from many people, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I did want to touch on too. Are you guys, I believe you're based out of North Carolina. Are you guys regional there? Are you national? Are you just in North Carolina? What's kind of the location that you do a lot of your placements?
National.
Okay. So you guys have clients then all over the country then.
Yes.
And then I always like to ask do you have a number of clients? How many clients do you have? Do you focus because there's also the kind of thought between,
Mm,
focus on 3 or 4 or 5 clients and just, hammer those out and kill it,
mm.
or, spread as far and wide as possible and bring in as many clients that you can. What's kind of your strategy there? Are you guys slowly building or are you really
Mm.
focused on, a handful?
Um, I- Again, we're new, but I think our strategy's been from the get-go. We don't want to work with everyone. We've turned down more business than we've been given. And that's kind of I think that's a fair way. We want to make sure that we're a fit for the company. We definitely don't want to convince and beg and just like I don't think that makes sense for us. So I think taking a slow approach and finding a good partnership has been our approach, and it's worked very well so far.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. I do like to ask too. Do you have any advice for somebody who is looking to change jobs? Um, someone who may be stuck in a rut in their current job. Do you have any advice for someone like that?
Um, Yeah, uh I think one of the most common things I talk to candidates about if they are looking for a job, because I don't always have a rec. I mean, somebody's looking for a project coordinator. I don't have that rec. My clients aren't looking for that position, and I can't just create that. So oftentimes I'm helping them and giving them advice. And so one of the things I tell them is go talk to a bunch of headhunters. You don't know who has recs. Like I got list names like Drew or Jordan Humphreys. Go talk to them as well. Go talk to other headhunters. Search up industrial automation a headhunting firm or recruiting firm. Find a headhunting firm in your niche and just go talk to them
Hmm.
because they're privy. They got their ears on the ground. They know what's open, what's coming. Um, and they might know something. So I think putting yourself out there and making connections is good. Get connected with hiring managers. And if you are serious about changing jobs, especially if you're having to change industries or a role maybe you're not completely familiar with or you think you might be a fit, go ask about it. Go talk to somebody that's in that shoes already. Reach out to them, and figure out what it's like, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Good advice, I'd say. We are, I don't want to say we're wrapped up with Q1
Mhm.
already, but we're getting close. How you doing this year so far? Did you set some goals for 2024? How are you doing currently?
2024 is uh not as not on track as I was hoping it to be, but it not at least not on the money making side. We're always working. I mean, I'm working from Monday to Saturday as
Hmm.
many hours as I can, and I love it. But
Yeah, guilty.
um but and that's another mistake, I've made in 2023. You got to put your time and energy around the money making activities and then be efficient at it, be quick at it. And I think the better you are at that, the better you're going to be as a business. You so 2024 is basically push away the development part of your business. Excuse me, the dogs. Um, push away your I guess push away all the distraction and stuff and trying to develop your business and all the operations, all that stuff, and get on the sales, get on the money, and go make some things happen. That's kind of where I'm at is trying to have a successful execution portion of 2024. So I think we're on track. It just hasn't turned all the way. So
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, good. And Derek, before we head off here, I always like to ask, where can people find you? Where can they find Seekers Technical? How do people get a hold of you?
um, text me, call me, I'll answer the phone. Check out our website or message me on LinkedIn. I mean, you're gonna see me on LinkedIn. I'm trying to be active there. So.
Good, good. And I know that's how we connected. I'll put all those links in the description as well. So, Derek, I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me. I learned quite a bit here about the recruiting industry. So thank you. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And we hope that you join us here next time on Engineers and Automation. Thanks.